Today, we're jumping straight into the Three Kingdoms period to talk about one of its most electrifying figures. We're talking about Gan Ning, the pirate general. I mean, this is a guy who started out as a feared outlaw on the Yangtze River and somehow became this celebrated hero of a kingdom. His whole journey from pirate to general, it's literally the stuff of legend. So that really gets you thinking, right? How does an outlaw become a legend? What does it actually take to turn a reputation from, terror to triumph? Let's dig into Gan Ning's life and see if we can figure it out. Every hero's journey is supposed to start in an ordinary world. But for Gan Ning, well, his world was anything but ordinary. His story kicks off on the wild, lawless rivers of ancient China. Okay, so as a young guy, he's leading this notorious gang, the Jinfanze, or the Brocade Sail Pirates. And these guys had style. I want you to just picture this for a second. Ships with elegant silk sails, the pirates themselves wearing these striking bird feathers, and this is the best part. You'd hear the sound of bells ringing just before they showed up. They weren't just your average pirates, they were almost like performers of chaos. And those bells? Yeah, they became a pure symbol of fear. But here's the thing, even back when he was a pirate, all the raw materials of a great general were already there. I mean, the guy was audacious, unbelievably brave, a really sharp tactician, and totally loyal to his crew. These are the exact skills that would make him a military legend. The potential was there the whole time, just kind of waiting for the right moment, the right cause. So eventually, Gan Ning decides he's done with the pirate life. He wants something more. But as you can probably guess, that transition was not easy at all. He basically went through this long, frustrating period of just trying to find a leader who could see past his reputation and recognize his actual talent. All right, let's just track his journey here. He gives up piracy, and first he goes to work for the warlord Liu Biao. Total dead end. His talents were completely ignored. So then he moves on to Huangzhou. Here, he actually proves himself in battle, but he's still treated like an outsider, not really trusted. You can imagine how frustrating that must have been. And this whole winding road finally leads him to a young, ambitious warlord named Sun Quan, who just so happens to be building a kingdom and is desperate for exactly the kind of warrior Gan Ning is. And this is the moment. This is the turning point. Sun Quan's top strategist, the brilliant Zhou Yu, takes one look at Gan Ning and immediately gets it. He sees the potential. This quote right here, this is where everything changes for him. It's more than just a job recommendation. It's a validation of everything Gan Ning believed he could be. After all that searching, he'd finally found his home. And you know what? It did not take long for Gan Ning to prove Zhou Yu was absolutely right, which brings us to his most legendary moment, the one that would cement his name in history forever. We're talking about the 100 Horsemen raid on Cao Cao's camp. Okay, just look at these numbers for a second. This is the very definition of impossible odds. On one side, you've got Gan Ning with a hand-picked team of just 100 elite cavalry. And on the other, the massive, sprawling army of the warlord Cao Cao. We're talking tens of thousands of soldiers. The scale here is it's mind-boggling. So the question is, how in the world did he pull this off? Well, first, he's the one who makes this crazy, bold proposal himself. He volunteers. Then, in the middle of the night, he leads this tiny force directly into the heart of the enemy camp, causing total chaos and panic. And then, and this is the most incredible part, after wreaking all that havoc, he just leads all his men right back out. So how many men do you think he lost on what should have been a suicide mission? 10? 20? No. The number is 0. Not a single man. Not a single horse. He let 100 in, and he let 100 out. It was absolutely flawless. A total masterclass in shock and awe that just shattered the morale of Cao Cao's army. Yeah, a stunt like that does not go unnoticed. The 100 Horsemen raid basically transformed Gan Ning overnight. He went from being a promising general to a living legend. And with it, he earned the absolute, unwavering trust and admiration of his lord, Sun Quan. And this quote from Sun Quan, it just says everything you need to know. Mengde was his rival Cao Cao's personal name, And Zhang Liao, he was Cao Cao's most feared general. So what Sun Quan is really saying here is, sure, they've got their guy Zhang Liao, but I've got Gan Ning, and that's enough to match him. Boom. Just like that, Gan Ning is officially considered one of the absolute top-tier generals of the entire era. And get this, his reputation became a weapon all on its own. There's this other famous story where the legendary Guan Yu is about to invade with a massive army, 30,000 men. Gan Ning gets sent to stop him with, wait for it, only 300 guys. And when Guan Yu finds out that it's Gan Ning waiting for him across the river, he calls off the whole invasion. He just didn't dare cross. Now that is the power of a reputation. So, there you have it. Gan Ning completed his journey. He managed to shed his pirate past, prove his worth against literally impossible odds, and became a truly indispensable pillar of his new kingdom. And this really just sums up the whole arc, doesn't it? He went from being the bell-ringing pirate to one of the esteemed 12 tiger generals of Eastern Wu. He didn't just get a new job, he achieved total redemption, purely through his actions and his loyalty. And his value was felt right up to the very end. When he eventually died of an illness, it wasn't just treated as the loss of a great general. His lord, Sun Quan, was said to have mourned him personally and deeply. The outlaw had truly become a treasured, respected hero. So, Gan Ning's story really leaves us with a big question to think about, doesn't it? His life kind of forces us to ask what truly defines a hero. Is it their origins, or is it what they choose to do with the skills and the courage they have? Something to chew on.